The following may contain language which will be offensive to some people and inappropriate for children. Still here? Then pour your favorite beverage and let's get this fucking show started.
Fantastic Forum, assemble! You're watching Fantastic Forum, the premier show about comic books and your live weekly conversation about entertainment and geek culture. We are the Fantastic Forum, coming to you live and direct from the Hall of F. Hope you're having a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or night, as the case may be, depending on where you are in the world. And if you're not, you should stick with us. We'll help you take it up a notch. You have the usual suspects in the building. First, he is our riddle, inside of an enigma, trapped in Chinese finger cuffs. You don't know him. You love him anyway. That's not our silent assassin. That's not Jay. Okay, that's Jay now. That's Jay. Jay, say something to the people, Jay.
He's muted.
Jay, you're muted.
Hey, what's up? I was muted. I'm not muted anymore.
I don't know which one of y'all forgot which one of us was Jay, but that ain't right.
No. I thought that doesn't sound like me. I can have a drink. And then
I don't know which one of y'all. Next, he is our intrepid senior reporter. He's next in line for the cowl. He's our resident Dark Knight detective. It's Oz.
and I made a mess.
Oh, I'm sorry, friend.
Called me
I'm
Jay,
sorry.
and now there's stuff all over the keyboard.
Look, that's what happens. Look, not in true Jay fashion. Next, he's the backbone, the pillar, the strength of Fantastic Forum, our nigh invulnerable brawler and resident strongman, Moses Magnum.
I started without you.
Yeah, that's okay. Like I might have to take an intermission to get a drink later. And as for myself, my name is Lawrence Young. They call me Mir Young. Welcome to Fantastic Forum. We got a great show for you today. We are going to be talking to you all about the Danish animated film Princess. We're going to be talking to you all about the return of Resident Alien, the sci-fi show. We're going to be talking to you all about the legend of Vox Machina, the animated show on Amazon Prime. And of course, whatever else it is that you all want to talk about. But before we do that, we want to make sure that we take a moment and thank Mr. Scott Rubin, who without him, this show would not have happened, would not be possible. So thank you, Scott Rubin. Hope you're doing well. So yeah, with all that said, we should go ahead and tell you how it is you can get down with Fantastic Forum. Here's how.
Give me 1 second.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Like the intern is slacking.
Yeah.
We're gonna cut her page.
Call Fantastic Forum on Skype and join the fun. Too shy to call in? That's okay. You can join the Discord chat room available at
FantasticForum.live.
Join the party. You know you want to.
I'm joking, intern. We're not gonna cut your pay. Even
That
though
sounds like retaliatory behavior, Larry. You can't say that.
retaliatory behaving. Yes.
I
Anyway,
need a second screen.
you need a second screen.
Yeah.
There it is. Join our Patreon so that you can get Sam Fantastic Forum a second screen for Moses, please. Thank you. Yeah. So we got chat here as well, of course. We'll bring comments out of chat and right into the show, such as insert witty chat comment here. Jay, or am I doing that? Bam, you got it. Oh, you're muted, Jay. You're muted. Jay, why are you muted, Jay? Just turn off the other thing. Whatever the other thing is, turn that off.
It's off now, but I forgot that I muted while it was on, and I forgot. And it's off now. And it's for the show.
He was doing pre-production right now.
Got it. Okay, I understand.
He was like, I'm so glad Larry and Oz are late.
He was waiting for Lawrence to tell him what we were reviewing so he could watch it real quick.
Yeah.
So Tiger Claw says, what's up, Fantastic Forum? Did you watch episode 6 of the Book of Boba Fett?
I have not watched it yet.
I heard it's the Book of Mando.
Look,
I heard that
it was.
five.
Okay.
I heard that was episode 5 was the Book of Mando.
Oh, I haven't seen past the first one, so you tell me.
But
Oh,
yeah,
dude, they definitely snuck in a backdoor episode there, and I'm not complaining because it was amazing.
Finally, the show got good. They did another show.
No, the show was already good beforehand.
nah, it wasn't.
You don't think so?
Nah, it has. Yeah, it's okay. It's not.
Listen. What I can say to
what
you
it
is
reminds
this.
me of? It reminds me of that first Clone Wars, the one that came out in the theater.
Yeah,
The one with the baby and that was crappy.
I don't think so.
Yeah, you do. We went to see it in the theater, and you said it was crappy when we got out.
No,
I didn't.
No, I didn't. I didn't
Yeah.
say that was. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure that I had some criticisms of it, but I didn't think it was crappy. It's not I watched it again recently, and don't get me wrong, the show was better.
Yeah,
The show takes its time, and but it's like anything else. Like when you have a pilot, sometimes it's like you got to find your legs a little bit. So but what I will say is this: I feel like a lot of the criticism of the Book of Boba Fett is all about people's expectations of what Boba Fett would be like, none of which are founded on anything factual. Like it's like literally just what they. Well, I won't say that. What I will say is it's not founded on anything that happened in the Star Wars movies. I'll say that.
Yeah. You got to. Otherwise, we're going to spend 40 minutes on that again.
Yeah. You're right.
Tiger Claw says episode 6 had a surprise appearance of a character from the Clone Wars animated series.
I mean, is it really a surprise appearance if it's from a show that they've taken characters from before?
Nah.
I think it depends on who the person is, right? Like,
well, who is it?
Depends on who. Well, I don't want Tiger Claw to tell me because I want to watch it.
Tiger Claw, tell me a private chat.
Look, text Mo. Because I can see private chat. I don't want to go in there by accident and be like, no.
Well, he's on our Patreon. He can send us on a group text.
There it is. Join our Patreon, and you too can be in the Fantastic Four group text. We're just making up tiers and stuff.
It's the only tier. It's the only tier. It's the $1,000. That's it.
The $1,000 tier gets you complete.
There's one tier.
Complete access to the Fantastic Four.
Like
you can
we
go
need 4 people a month to really be cool.
you too can go into Jay's bed and just do whatever it is you want. And it's like you two can change Jay's station while he's watching.
We got Joe and Beauregard already. Not this Joe, another Joe.
And Beauregard?
Oh yeah. Wow. Oh my God.
Wait, Joe, you saw who it is?
Yeah.
He's watching it right now.
I looked up who it is.
Oh, okay. Well, y'all need to look.
I'm not going to spoil it for you.
Thank you.
I won't spoil it for you, but God damn. And it looks, oh my, man. Like I might have to watch the show now.
Oh, man. Man, if you don't stop it.
He's beating off already.
That's all it took, huh, Darth Maul?
Oh, see, you better stop. Oz, man. If it's Darth Maul Oz, I'm on a plane tomorrow.
I haven't seen past episode 1. If it's Darth Maul, it shows just how predictable it is.
If it's Darth Maul, hands, Oz. Hands.
Or ankles.
Man.
Oh, damn you. Okay. Now see, look. Now I gotta make sure I jump kick it.
How about if we mute Larry? If we mute Larry, you can tell us, right, Jay?
Well, no, if we mute Larry, he'll still be able to hear. He just won't be able to talk.
He didn't know that.
I definitely knew that. I know how this thing works. I was like, mute me? Like, how does that?
Off the reflection in his glasses. I already know who it is.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Anyway. So, yeah. But hit us in chat. Feel free to call in if, when we're talking about something and it sparks some kind of interest in you. Feel free to call in. And, of course, I mean, at any point during the show, if you want to go ahead and, chat about something else, we'll entertain you for a little bit. We're not gonna derail the show, obviously, but you could, maybe later on you'll be able to talk more about whatever you want. But in the meantime, if you have thoughts on the Legend of Vox Machina, if you have thoughts on Princess, if you have thoughts on Resident Alien, we definitely want to hear those too. So feel free to call in. You can go to fantasticforum.live to do that. I know it's like I'm sure somebody was listening. Like, is he going to tell us how to call in? Fantasticforum.live. There's a button that literally says call in right at the top. So check that out. Or of course, if you're in chat on YouTube or Twitch, just toss your comments into chat. We'll take a look at them.
Oh wow.
Tiger Claw's offering to DM you the character.
No, he already did.
But
Oh,
I'm telling you, look, the fact that he capitalized D and M is Darth Maul.
Yeah.
You know, slid into most DMs. I love it.
Well, he thrust it with that one.
Oh, jeez.
Now, Mo, are you familiar with that character?
Oh yeah. Before I even liked the cartoon, I would just watch his fights.
Wait, listen, y'all, listen.
Oh.
Let's talk about something else. Because, like, I know you all are gonna spoil this for me before I get to see it if we keep talking about it. So let's.
He's not. He meant.
Hey,
Ray
hey.
He's a big Ray Fisher fan.
Hey, man. Listen. So anyway,
Amazing to see how horny Ray Fisher can be.
now why do you keep saying Ray Fisher?
Oh, dude, that's the wrong. No, what's home?
You talking about Ray Park? Is that who you talking about?
They look the same to me.
Do they look the same to you? You don't see color? He doesn't see color.
Apparently not.
I'll tell you, if I watch Book of Boba Fett and Cyborg pops up in that joint, I'm gonna be floored. I'm
He
like,
already
what in the
did.
world?
He already did in that Power Rangers episode with those urban youth.
Oh, listen, the urban youth, the youth,
If
the
Ray Fisher
youth.
did show up, you save on paint because you just need the red.
No, it's
What are we
funny
talking
though
about?
because cyborgs are totally understated in Star Wars universe. Like they're always like just like a little like they got like, oh, there's a cyborg and it's like Lobot. And it's like, that fool only got like 2 little tape cassettes on the side of his head. That's it. It's like
I hate it when I screw up a joke and Lawrence tries to make a poignant point.
that does happen a lot. That does happen. Like
Totally screwed it up. I don't know why you like what. Okay, what are we talking about?
I'll play the TV intro.
Let's go.
Also,
no, it'd be more about gel coat.
When the fourth round,
Don't you call it?
does it look good already? Oh. Jumbo Scampi for limited.
All right. Can we start with the Legend Vox Machina?
Sure.
Yeah, dude,
All right.
you've been like so waiting for this, and yeah, I'm happy for you as the biggest critter on this show. I'm glad you finally
Really cool critters.
as the biggest critter on this show. I'm happy for you, man, and finally you can stop sending us all these messages and trailers about this show, and you get your time to talk about it. Go ahead, let it out, man. Or you've been holding it in.
So apparently, the Legend of Vox Machina is an animated television show on Amazon Prime that I believe takes the characters from Critical Role and puts them in their own animated adventure. Yeah, I'm really like, if you can't tell from Oz's tone, he's being sarcastic because I don't really do anything with Critical Role. I know it's a thing, and I know people like it. They like it enough that.
The hell? You lost your mic. Your mic went out, Larry.
He's speechless. I mean, he was saying that like a North Korean prisoner.
Yeah.
Like talking about their great leader. I mean, I could see his mic's muted.
No, but it wasn't muted before. I think his headset died. So what Larry was trying to say is that Oz sarcastically here, little backstory. If you did have the $1,000 tier in our Patreon, you would see our pre-production. And for some reason, for a couple weeks, Larry kept sending us Vox Machina stuff, whether it was a news story or the trailer, the second trailer, And then one time when we brought it up when it was coming out, what was it like 2 shows back, Oz? Larry's like, "What is that?
At
I don't
least,
know what that is."
yeah.
Like, and we had to, we actually have a clip where Oz went back into the deep texts to show where Larry said, where he sent us that, because Larry didn't believe he sent it. He's like, he didn't know what it is. And needless to say, we had to review it now because it's been part of our little universe here for the past few weeks. And like he said, it's basically the Critical Role characters in an animated adventure in an irreverent high fantasy world, kind of like it was Dungeons and Dragons, right? That's what.
Yeah, it's Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
I think the world that they're in was created by their dungeon master.
Okay.
And it's blown up to the point that it has its own editions in Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay.
And so this story that they go through in the first 3 episodes anyway is
before we go into that, like I do need to ask, like, who is in Critical Role? Like, what's because it's isn't it celebrities playing? Isn't that part of the attraction of this thing?
Celebrities. It's voice actors, and like in the Infinity Train, that the main character, the girl, Tulip, she was played by the person playing Pike, the cleric. Okay. So they're voice actors, and they're just nerdy, and they would get together and play this Dungeons and Dragons game. And right around the time Geek and Sundry was becoming a thing, and they had that tabletop game show and other stuff like that, somebody brought it up to them like, "Hey, you guys want to just stream this and see what happens?" And they did, and it just blew up from there. But yeah, everybody here, everybody in the show, you would know their work, but you might not know their name because they're voice actors. So like you there's a lot of people you'd have to look up their characters. Like the guy playing the gunner, I think he was the Flash in one of the Mortal Kombat DC things.
Okay.
So like you've seen their work, or you've seen their work, you just don't know their names because they're voice actors.
So the dudes playing the characters in this Vox Machina thing are the dudes that play the game together, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That's
the only difference is now they have more voice actors for some of the other characters, what they would be the NPCs of the game, because usually it's just the one guy, the dungeon master, that does all those voices. And now they can afford to have other people kind of voice some of the other characters, especially the female characters, because he male or female or other, he does all the voices in the show,
as a good DM should.
Yeah, and does a good job.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, Larry, how fulfilled are you watching these first 3 episodes?
I still don't understand what it is that makes me the Critical Role fan, or the I know that you all said that I sent the text or whatever, and I remember
you proved that you sent the text.
I remember you showing me the thing, but I was like, I don't remember sending it, and I'm like, what did I send it for? Like, what was the context?
Yeah, trailer for the animated series.
Like every time there's a new trailer or a new story, we send it because it might be a topic of conversation.
Okay, and I just sent it just to be like, look at this.
I'm pretty sure that's exactly.
Look, we don't know why you sent it. We got it.
Like,
you don't know why your mind from last November.
Yeah, I will tell you, man. I was very underwhelmed. Because I was like, full disclosure, I'm not, I don't do the whole Critical Role thing. I'm aware of it, obviously, but I'm not a fan like that.
All of a sudden.
Not over. Never. There was never like. I don't listen. I don't even understand what because I will say this. Maybe I saw the trailer because I will say the opening sequence is awesome. Like the opening sequence was better than the entire first episode to me. Because I was just like, I don't know. I was very like underwhelmed by everything that was happening, with the exception of the dragon. Like the dragon was awesome.
Yeah.
And the scenes with the dragon in it were awesome. Like when you had these characters trying to fight that dragon in episode 1, I was like, okay, like this I like. But at the same time, that's everybody shutting up for the most part. And it looks like that's where they kind of put the hefty part of the animation work in. And like, yeah, like that was like the highlight to me. And I only watched the first 2 episodes, and so in both episodes, which episode 2 was better than the first one to me, but both episodes, the dragon was the highlight for me.
Alfonso Ceja says, yeah, even in their D&D campaigns, they have great intros.
Ah, well, there you go.
Like in true Critical fashion. That great, but
the newest intro isn't that great.
Well, it's fine. I like hearing the girls sing, so I like that part. But it's just it's weird.
Okay.
Like production value is great, but how it relates to the campaign that they're on, or the characters that they're playing, makes absolutely no sense. Like it's got nothing to do with it.
Okay.
They're like explorers in the dungeon, I guess, like Indiana Jones, which, okay, Dungeons and Dragons is what they're playing, but usually the intros relate to their characters that they're playing or the story that they're telling.
Okay. Yeah.
Jay, this animated role-playing fantasy with a little bit of irreverence is nothing new to you, right?
Not really. It is rare to see it look as good as it does, but just maybe a year and a half ago, what the fuck is that show called? Another fantasy show came out, and it's
How
done
to pick
by
up girls in a dungeon.
What?
Masters of the Universe.
How to pick up girls in a dungeon?
No, it's by some of the Robot Chicken alums.
Oh, Crossing Swords.
Crossing Swords, yeah. Like that came out, and like that was really good. Like it could have been a little more dense with story, but they do like really good with the characters and the comedy, and even towards the end, actually, like the story elements actually get really, really good. But it's like peg people, so it's like it's nice to see it look the way it does in Vox Machina. And even still, like Crossing Swords is a comedy. This is more of an adventure comedy. Like it has more of an emphasis on adventure. So that is good. And I would say, like, yeah, when you talk anime, they've got like thousands, figuratively, of fantasy stories, but it's a different. Like over here, we tell stories a little differently, and so it's nice to see this with this Western storytelling. I think the closest you get to it is maybe Castlevania we had recently, which just finished.
Yeah.
But this is more of a like, because it's more lighthearted and a little more comedic, it feels more fun. Like Castlevania was dense and it was amazing dense, and this is more of like an amazing fun. So it's a different experience and one I welcome, honestly. Like some other people have said it before me, but recently has been great for adult animation. With like styles and genres and getting like some of the more mainstream looks and like the bigger budgets, and people have been putting their all into like the writing, and like it's adult animation is doing really good right now, and Vox Machina I think fits well into that category, especially Amazon. Like it is interesting to me, like because it's an Amazon show, you have Amazon now has Invincible and The Legend of Vox Machina, which is like great. Like two different genres done awesomely and animated in a way that, yeah, it's just good.
All right. What other questions do you have, Larry?
No, I mean, no, I got plenty of questions because honestly, I'm just like I'm a little surprised to hear how much you like it, Jay. Just because I know for me, I was watching it and I'm like, this feels very.
I
Wait,
saw
what?
this and I knew it was like right up Jay's alley. It's a decently animated, like I didn't know what the story would be, but just looking at the trailers, at the animation and knowing the humor that they would inject into it, I knew it'd be right up Jay's alley.
But I guess I don't know. It feels very vanilla to me. Like I'm like, it's not. I know, like you say, like it's funny, but it's not really funny, is it? Like, what was there anything in there that really made you laugh out loud?
It's not like a comedy.
Not really funny, but fun. Like they have a lighthearted air to them. No, it's not. Like I wouldn't call it funny. And
okay,
I know that one dude can be actually kind of annoying. The dwarf or whatever he is,
like the bard.
Yeah, the bard can be actually a little annoying.
Now,
but what?
I just have one question. So, you mean to tell me that they weren't going for funny when they wrote this?
No, I'm not saying they weren't going for funny.
Okay.
Oh,
I said it's not funny.
I'm saying they weren't going for funny. I think Jay did the best description of it as an adventure. And watching, like, if you ever watch the show, the bard, like the guy just always tries to do something funny, and then the guy playing the barbarian, I think the guy playing the barbarian is actually one of the funniest guys on the show. And as the barbarian, he would kind of hold back a little bit, I guess, because they had just started, and it's not until now they're in campaign 3 that he's just really letting it all go. And what? Okay.
My hand is in the booty. Like, God damn. That was funny. That was actually pretty funny. Like, I didn't laugh out loud, but remembering that joke,
it sounded like
laugh.
you did.
Like at the time, I was more focused on the. What is she? I'm sorry, I forget all the classes. Like, I don't know. The druid. The druid. I was more focused on her.
The one with the horns is the druid.
Right. Like during that scene, I was more focused on her because she was actually funny to me. Like during that scene.
Yeah, and that's the difference between the animated and the actual show, because in the actual show they have to be spontaneous, and so the humor hits a little better sometimes when it's live and they just came up with it, as opposed to having to write it down, rehearse it. How many times? This is like the 5th time they've read it. Yeah, it all those little things affect it. So yeah, that's where. But I knew they would try to do the humor, to add some humor into it. But yeah, overall, it's an adventure. They're telling a story.
Right, like funny inside of a D&D campaign is a different thing than like funny in a scripted television show, and that I definitely can understand and acknowledge. Like I'm not, I'm not knocking Critical Role as a show because that's not what we're talking about. I'm just talking
We would
about.
never do that.
I would at least have to watch it first before I would. I'll tell you that. But what I will say is, Legend of Vox Machina, I was kind of like, I don't know, and here's the thing, like, I don't even necessarily need it to be funny because it's not like I'm sitting here like, oh, this is supposed to be a comedy. I'm not saying that at all. I just know that they're trying to be funny, and I'm just like it's not working for me. But then I don't even think, I'm not. You all know it's not hard to make me laugh. Like, I like to laugh. I'm rooting for you. I want to laugh at your joke. I'm not the person that, my arm folded, like, you better be funny. That's not me at all. Like, I'm ready, and so the fact that I was like, that's not hitting, that made me kind of feel a way about it where I'm like, maybe this isn't funny. Like, like, I know they're trying to be, but it's not working for me. And then, but that's not even the biggest part for me. Oh, we can read the comment first. I'm sorry.
Alfonso Ceja says, "Is it better than the old D&D animated show where a wizard kidnaps the kids from a roller coaster?"
No,
I'll be honest.
No, absolutely not.
I'll be
because that has
honest.
that 80s magic.
There is a lot to be said for that show. Like,
It also,
the time it came out and the writing, like, it's kind of a special thing. Like, okay, I don't know who all here was up, like, watching cartoons during that time when I was on, but there was a rule in children's media where the complainer was always the one that was wrong. So in Dungeons and Dragons, they would always have the complainer. He was like a lancer or something. He would always say the common sense thing, like the thing they actually should do, and he'd be wrong, like, because the complainer, like, it is just so funny and like, it is, like, that thing is a work of art.
Yeah. But here's the other part with this show that this is the main thing that bothered me is I don't like any of these characters. And I'm not saying like they have to have like a character for you to like, but I guess what's worse than being unlikable is being like uninteresting, like just flat. And that's what I feel like. All the characters come across very flat to me. Where
Did
I'm
you
like,
watch all 3 episodes?
No, I watched 2 of them.
Okay.
So I'm just like they don't come across like, man, I really want to know more about this guy. Like a few of them look pretty cool. Like, the design of the characters isn't bad. But
I kind of feel like,
I got to go through 3 episodes before I get an interesting character.
Tell me about Arcane.
The third episode is a little less. I guess it's almost a slower episode with a little more character development in it.
Okay.
Yeah, the third episode is a different kind of story. Like, it piggybacks off of the dragon thing, but it's a different kind of story. And it really is just all about the one dude. I don't know his name. I'm sorry, I don't know anyone's name yet. But the one with the gun.
Yeah.
It's about his history and what's going, like, it's basically his origin story. And we get to see him.
Look.
Yeah. Like,
although in some of those scenes those action scenes, it looks like his head is bald and he just has this little spot. Like, that is weird.
His name, by the way, is Lord Percival Frank Fredrickson von Musel Kolaski de Rolo III.
Oh no!
So the third, we get into his
third.
The third.
He's like Lupin.
Yeah, and I actually like these characters. Like I think the Bard is probably my least favorite, but I actually just found everyone to be, well, okay, the two siblings, maybe not them as much, but I think everyone else is like really charming, like has a charm to them. Like the druid, the healer, the like, yeah, like I wouldn't say they're like exactly stand out, but I do like them. I like the charm. Would definitely love to learn more about them. And the twins, even, or I don't know if they're twins or just regular brother and sister, but and they're not wholly uninteresting. Like I said, like I just probably will put them at the lower end of my current interest. But yeah, like I honestly don't have any problem with these characters. Yeah, like even the bard, he might be my least favorite, but it's not like I don't hate him. Like he does his thing.
I mean, he had a rainbow-studded codpiece.
That was amazing.
Did that happen in episode 3?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
See what you missed? Character development right there.
See, and that's the whole thing where it was strange to me because it's like, you know, I understand. Like, I mean, I like characters, like developed characters. And you know, you all know, like I have no problem watching like good dialogue. Like I could watch two people sit in the room if the dialogue is right, and that's fine with me, you know. But it's not like I'm sitting here like, you know, I'm not a person that's like beholden to character development. Like if there's no character development, then I'm just like, oh well, there's no reason for this piece of this show to exist. Because realistically, it's like I love good action sequences too. But normally when you don't get that much character development, it's because a lot's happening. And I feel like what the thing with this show for me was like, I'm not getting character development and I'm not getting a lot of action either. So what am I watching exactly? Like what's happening what am I supposed to be taking from what I'm looking at? And it's like, it's just people doing stuff. You know what I mean? It's like, I mean, which you know, could be interesting too, but the things they're doing aren't like, I don't feel like what I'm seeing, I'm not learning about the characters, and then they're not doing anything extra interesting. It's like, you know, I learned some things, like, you know, there are some characteristics that I could tell you about some of the people, but there's like what, 8 characters or 9? How many of them are there?
7.
There's the twins, 2 twins, a bard, druid, healer, barbarian.
That's it.
It made me feel like a loser that I don't have enough friends to get a good D&D campaign going.
Wait, so it's 7 of them?
Yeah.
Okay. So if it's 7 of them, I feel like I only can tell you maybe like personality traits for like 3 of them. Like, and that's it. And I'm just like, that seems weird. And it'd be different if it was like, okay, well, we focused on we did a deep dive into one person and we'll learn more about the rest of them later. But it wasn't like that at all. It was literally like, it's all very surface.
I mean, you just described episode 3.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Also, I would debate that with you. Mm-hmm. The surface level characteristics for, like, I would say what they give you about Girl Twin isn't really surface level. Or it didn't feel surface level. Like, they give her the whole backstory of her family being killed by dragons and her studying. And now she has an empathetic connection with dragons.
Yeah, but that's not characterization. That's like history.
No, it's also characterization.
What does that make her like?
Studious and vengeful.
And broody.
I mean, but wait. She's not studious, or at least you don't see that she's studious in the show.
They tell you that she is. She studied so hard that she got an empathetic connection with dragons. Like, do you know how hard you have to study to develop an empathetic connection with something?
She's obsessive.
But is she obsessive? Like, do they show us she's obsessive?
They tell you.
This is what I'm saying. It's like they told it to us. They didn't tell us that she got an empathetic connection through studying, but we understand that she feels.
They literally tell you that. Like, they literally tell you that her studying gave her an empathetic connection.
Okay. All right. Let's say I'll give you that. Let's say that's what they tell you. Okay.
Like were you on your phone while you were watching?
Listen. I'm talking about the characterization, the personality of the person. Like, none of the things you're talking about show up in her personality. It's like her and her brother act the same, which is nothing.
They're twins.
They are twins.
But they don't act like anything. Like
they have different skills. Like the brother
isn't character. It's like if I can pick a lock, that doesn't tell you anything about who I am as a person.
It means that you have nimble fingers and are a sensuous lover.
And your twin sister is broody.
Listen, I'm just saying, like, this is what, like you know, it's like everything you all are saying is basically like you say she's vengeful. It's like, how do we know that? Like, I'm
vengeful. That's what
like she wants to kill dragons because a dragon took out her family. That is something that she did say.
So after the dragon dies, her purpose is over because her whole life's motivation is done.
But here's the thing: it's like it's not even her whole life's motivation. It's not her whole life's motivation though, because it's not like she's out there trying to go out and seek dragons. She's hanging out in a pub, drinking and doing jobs for money. Like everybody in the group is motivated by money except for the paladin chick, right?
Well, a wise man once said, "If you're good at doing something, don't do it for free."
No, but what I'm saying is
they're also motivated by getting drunk.
That motivates me.
Okay.
Too.
That's a characterization.
It isn't though. It really isn't. Like, liking to drink doesn't say anything about your personality. Like, now here's what I got from here's what I'm talking about personality wise, right? Like, the druid is unsure of herself. That you can tell because in multiple situations and the way that she talks and carries herself, you can tell that she is unsure of her abilities. That's a characteristic that actually does get shown in the 2 episodes that I saw. You know, like it's in the same way how
she's pretty powerful.
Right. No, absolutely. Like, you know, it's not like she doesn't have skills and doesn't have like she's one of the most powerful members of the group, it seems. But that's something that comes out as far as about her character in the show. They only show it a couple times, but you know, and it even comes out in the way that she speaks. Okay. Like, she kind of like is unsure about what she's saying as she's saying it. And so it's like that's the kind of thing where I'm like, okay, like, now I don't know why she's like that, and they don't need to tell me why necessarily in the beginning, but I'm saying, like, that kind of thing is something that, like, that's one of the few things about the characters that I found out through the course of the show, and that's what the kind of things I'm talking about, where I'm like, I like the guy with the gun. I don't know anything about that dude, and I understand that you find out more in the 3rd episode.
Yep.
Huh?
Yeah, episode 3, you find out his.
Yeah. Well, someone wants to read that comment?
Oh yeah, Alfonso says I play video games and that's my whole personality, and I won't have it any other way.
Right.
So exactly. 3 episodes. I guess in your case, 2 episodes. Mm-hmm. You find out the personalities of 5 of the 8 characters, or there's 4 of the 7 characters.
In what, 2 episodes?
Yeah.
No, I don't. What for? Like, I told you all about 1. The stuff that you all were telling me is just like facts. It's not like you haven't told me anything about anybody's personality.
You don't the big dumb guy. You don't get what he's about.
He's
He's big, he's dumb, and he loves to fight. Like what?
And the bear.
So, I mean, but I'm saying is being dumb a personality trait?
Yes. If you love to fight, if you're a good fighter, you're just big and dumb and goofy.
Like, don't get me wrong. It's like
you love to drink and you love to fight. I mean, what more do you need?
And he likes booties.
And he likes boobies.
Booties.
Okay? The bard, obviously some kind of sex addict, wants to bang everything. He says it up front. I want to bang everything in front of me.
Right. That would be one of the other people where I'm like, okay.
All you need to know about his motivations.
Well, no, but and that would have been one of the other people that I would have said, like, okay, I get a little bit of characterization in regards to that guy, where it's like, okay, I get it. Like he's a lover and definitely wants to, like, you know,
the cleric. I mean, she's a cleric. Like,
what's the like the cleric is the other little one.
Yeah,
okay, got you. Yeah.
The one Healy people with the symbol of the light.
Yeah. No, those are the three I would have mentioned. Where I'm like, those three people, like, you know,
on 2 episodes.
Wait, but it's not like you get a lot from them. That's all you get. Like, all I know is, like, she wants to do the right thing. She wants to actually help people, and which is good to know. But I guess here's what I'm saying is, you have a cast of 7 people, and it's like, it's not like the other people aren't talking. If you're only going to show me a little bit or give me a taste, like, what I'm thinking is, if you're only going to tell me a little bit about the characters, then I'm thinking you're going to tell me a little bit about each one. But you told me a little bit and only gave me less than half. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, I don't know. Like, why do I care about what everybody else is doing? Like, why am I supposed to like those people or not? Or, like, I don't know. Like, it's just like, you
find out through the adventure. That's how the sad game works. You all meet at a bar, and little by little you learn things about each other as you adventure and kill dragons.
I liked the king better than pretty much all the cast, which I was like, that's weird.
Oh, yeah. Bad things happen to him. Bad things happen to him. Like, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but you picked the guy that, man, I thought I was bad at picking favorite characters.
So, yeah, man, I don't know. I was like, I guess I would have taken an action heavy show with little characterization, or I would have taken a character heavy show with just a little bit of action.
That sounds like something I expect from a Bayformers fan.
Who's a Bayformers fan?
Just want to see big robots punching each other in the face.
Oh, dude, please.
That's all I care about.
I like giant robots punching each other in the face. I think that's awesome, but I want there to be a good reason for it. And Lord knows Michael Bay has never provided that in the course of however many Transformers movies he's made. So
the louder the better. Turn it up to 11.
I don't know what he's talking about. Like, what about you, Mo? How'd you feel about it?
I mean, you pretty much. I give it a 2. Like, it's not the animation, like you said, wasn't, you know, it was okay. It was, you know, I wanted to see something better, and then when the dragon came, I'm like, oh wow, okay, they're putting money in it, and it's cool. And then the story, like the 3rd episode, was the stronger one out of it, even though it was a little less action heavy, less traditional adventure in this type of show. But it did, you know, it was a more interesting episode. I even caught myself like pausing it, and I'm like, I don't need to get back to this. And then I went and put it back, you know, to finish it out. But the series as a whole, I mean, like, I'm no anime expert, dude, but I've seen like 3 animes that do what this or what this doesn't try to do better. And
right.
And not to mention like a couple movies, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, this is kind of feels a little watered down. Like they're trying to do, I don't know if they're trying to get if it's for fans of Critical Role or for people that never heard of it too, but it seems like it's more for fans of Critical Role, and they're gonna get it and enjoy it, and then the rest of us could go watch Your Highness or something. Or what's that anime where the dude was it the one dude goes into the cave and then all the girls keep peeing themselves when they get attacked? It's an anime.
Goblin Slayer.
Goblin Slayer. There's that. Or
I liked Goblin Slayer.
I got reincarnated into a slime. There's that.
He's way overpowered.
Yeah, and then there's
but it's still an interesting story.
Yeah, and what's the other one? How to Pick Up Girls in the Dungeon.
Haven't watched that yet.
Yeah, and this Vox Machina feels like it's trying to rip that off, kind of, but it just doesn't get the charm that has. And I'm not even saying like How to Pick Up Girls in the Dungeon is even good. I'm just happy they only have like 3 episodes. Like it's not a full-on series, not that I know of at least. It's just there's always like a new episode. And it's like one of one, kind of like those High School of the Dead mini movies, like OVAs or something. Yeah. But yeah, I like if you want the kind of funny fantasy stuff, there's other stuff that'll do it better. And but I guess it's not trying to be fun.
One thing I would say on that point is a lot of the fantasy anime, they may have a lot of characters, but it never they're not normally an ensemble cast. Like you have your main hero and then it's just side characters where as the actual ensemble, like each person actually does get a chance to shine in Vox Machina, and for the most part.
That's the How to Pick Up Girls in the Dungeon does that well too. The ensemble cast.
Okay.
But yeah, so I mean that's as far as like I never got into D&D. Never had enough friends to play it. Turns out you need 9, and 4 of them you don't even have to really know. But yeah, so it's like I like the stories behind it, and but I never played it, and I don't have time for it anymore. So this was like something that I was hoping that I would like to, so that I can get that little aspect of what I want. 22 minutes at a time, and it's like, nah, you know what? I'll just go watch fucking Game of Thrones. That was a little bit of Magic Gathering and Dungeons and Dragons in it, and characterization. Yeah,
that's fair. So, you all have anything else you want to say about Legend of Vox Machina before we rate it?
So, I've tried to be fairly quiet on it because out of respect for Lawrence and his critterness and hearing what he had to say about it, but
he's gonna critique it.
But yeah, I think Jay hits the nail on the head with describing it as an animated adventure show that has elements of funny stuff in it, but it's really more about the adventure. And I think Mo is also correct that this was primarily for Critical Role fans. I mean, this was fully funded through Kickstarter. They raised, I just looked it up, $11.5 million.
Oh,
that's crazy.
So they went out, hired Titmouse, which we know Titmouse is good.
Yeah,
for the animation, and they put this show together, and that's probably, and that's one of the reasons why I kind of hold back a little bit in talking about the show, because look, I have years of experience with these characters. I've seen full hours worth of episodes dedicated to each character. I know their backstories. I know what happens to them. and I know I know where these characters came from and where they end up. So I have a bias watching the show. I just know the characters, where Lawrence is, still trying to figure out who they are. And so I think that is a little bit of weakness on their part, that they made it for the people that paid to have it done, and the people that paid to have it done already know these characters, so they don't need as much backstory. I think putting it on Amazon Prime, if they knew they were going to do that, then yeah, maybe spend a little bit more time developing the characters in the first couple episodes, even though by the third one you get just a huge dump of backstory to one of the characters. Yes, I do think if you don't know the characters, then yeah, that would be a weakness of the show.
I will say though that I'm not gonna knock a show for catering to its fans. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, if the fans are the ones that kickstarted it and they made a show that's like, we want to make sure that those people that gave us their money are happy, then look, I'm not mad at that at all. You know what I'm saying? I can actually even respect that. And I didn't put any money into the Kickstarter. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna mess around and be like, hey, this show should be for me. It's like, no, I mean, I'm not the audience, or if I'm just not the audience, I'm just not the audience, and that's okay. And based on what you all have already said, I'll still go back and give episode three a try, just to kind of see, if it's something that might appeal to me more, because just, why not? Like, it seems like it's not so uninteresting that I'm like, I'm wasting my time or anything like that. It was just one of those things where I watched the 2 episodes and I was like, okay, I think I got a sense of this, like, I think I do. And like, but the fact is, it's like, I will never knock a property for catering to its core demographic, especially if they let me know that up front. You know what I mean? But I guess one of the things, like, I think, you mentioned earlier Arcane, Oz, and I know that we all had different thoughts about Arcane, but I know for me, like, I like that joint a lot, and I came into that like not being a League of Legends fans or knowing anything about any of that stuff, and feeling like, oh man, like, these characters are interesting and I want to know more about them. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's a, like, I'm looking at that almost in a contrasting kind of way, but at the same time, I do feel like that show was made in a way where it caters to the hardcore fans, and it caters to people that don't know anything about League of Legends.
Well, like, even when we reviewed it, like, a lot of people that played League of Legends and know the characters in chat, and Xenocore had to call in to let us know that how it's better than we thought it was.
Right, exactly. Like, we weren't giving it enough credit from his perspective, which is crazy. But so I get it. Like, I'm not, especially, like, I didn't realize that. Well, at least I didn't remember, because I'm sure you all probably mentioned sometime before that Legend of Vox Machina was kickstarted. I didn't remember that, and that keeps that definitely puts a different perspective on things for me too. Like, I'm not gonna knock the show for, like, saying not necessarily being or not necessarily catering to the newbies, Yeah, especially considering, like, dude, like, they got their money already, right? Like,
right, 88,887 backers.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Now, I'm assuming there must be doing an additional season or 2, right? Because 11 million.
Maybe on Indiegogo.
Most, I feel like the majority of animated shows, like big ones, normally cost about $1 million an episode.
Oh, jeez. So that's only one season?
One season plus tax.
I mean, yeah, like
one season plus tax. Oh, jeez. Okay. Well, man. Well, I guess they're gonna have to kickstart the second one, unless who knows? But maybe a lot of people will
Well,
watch it. Maybe Amazon will
if
foot the
enough,
bill for
yeah,
this next one.
right. If enough people watch it and like it, and
Yeah, they get
Amazon,
money for streams.
Indeed, money for streams. So okay, cool. Well, look, let's go. Let's go ahead and rate it. Oh wait, were you gonna say something, Mo?
no,
Oh, okay. Jay, what would you rate The Legend of Vox Machina?
I would give it a 4 out of 5. Like, there was a couple of things that I didn't know that I wanted to see, that I do want to see, that I didn't get to see. And I think everything else I kind of loved about the show.
Okay, cool. Moses Magnum, what would you rate Legends of Vox Machina?
right now I'll give it a 2. But I do have to watch the 4th episode because it was like it ended on a little bit of a cliffhanger.
Okay. What's that say?
Big Man 24/7 says, being #1 channel on Twitch, I'm surprised Twitch didn't fund it. Well, they did. I mean, Amazon owns Twitch, so.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, basically, they did.
Right. Oscor, what would you give Legends of Vox Machina?
4 also, but I gotta add that I'm biased in this review because, like I said, I know the characters. I know all their histories before the show even started. So, like, I have all hours and hours of character development. But I can see its flaws too, so I don't want to give it above a 4. So yeah, I'm just gonna stick with 4.
Big Man 24/7 says they had to get crowdfunded first, though.
It probably works better that way because they own it, and they just Amazon pays for streaming rights, and if they want that market share, they renew them, pay for the next one.
I will say too, like, if a bunch of D&D players were like, hey, we want you to give us money so we can make an animated show, I'm not sure, like, as Twitch or Amazon, I would be like, well, yeah, definitely, that's the right thing to do. Like,
that's some Verve shit.
Hilarious. As for me, I think I'd give it 2.5 out of 5. It wasn't for me, but I don't know that it was necessarily supposed to be for me. And I don't know. Like it's not bad. Like it's middle of the road, and that's the rating I gave it. It's middle of the road rating, or maybe I might even give it a 3. You know what I'm saying? Like 3. That probably makes sense. Like it's a 3. So, but let me ask you this, Oz. Based on what you know about like the campaign and characters and whatnot, is the show following some of the stuff that you've seen before, or is it kind of doing its own thing with the show as far as story wise?
It is following the campaign stuff with minor differences. The show takes place right before the first episode of the campaign was aired, because they were already in this game when they started. And I mean, there's some stuff that they have to change. Like there was another character in those first few episodes that they had a falling out with the guy playing the character. So like
who was the guy? We don't speak of him anymore.
I forget his real name. It's like Orion.
He shall not be named.
Orion something is the actor's name. The character was a dragonborn wizard that I'm blanking on his name right now.
Orion Akaba?
Yeah. And they don't discuss what happened too much because there's a little bit of either substance abuse or alcohol, and then kind of like mistreatment of the other cast. It was just a toxic situation from what I gather, and he was removed from the show, and obviously his character would have been in this show at this time period, but is not because they had to. So he had to be written out.
Got it.
Yeah, Big Man says
cool.
actually don't speak of him anymore. I think it's because they get asked about it so much. Like if you look up the Reddit to find out what happened, like they actually say, look, this is what he commented, and we're just not. We've talked about it way too much. We're not gonna keep talking about it. So yeah. So it follows like the gunner. I know his history, and everything they tell you in the third episode, I already knew. I knew who the people are that he encountered, and I knew all of that. So yeah, it does follow closely. I don't know how deep they're gonna if the next however many episodes. I think it's 8 total. So I don't know if the next 5 are gonna go into where the campaign started. I assume the whole thing will be right before the parts that aired on YouTube. But we'll see.
Okay, cool. All right. Shall we jump into Resident Alien?
Sure. It's back. It's good. I'm done.
Wait a minute, Mo. Look, you have to do a little bit more than that, Mo. Tell us about Resident Alien's return.
I mean, it got renewed.
Have to watch the return of Two Dicks on Two Dicks.
Yeah, it was, yeah. That's why we said we talk about a little bit of Two Dicks.
Just a tip.
Just a tip. I'm just teasing. Okay. I'm just rubbing it against the labia.
Is that what you're doing? Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
We Resident Alien is a show we all love here, and comic we all love, and we've had a good time reading them. And when the show was announced, it was like, oh wow, and then it turned out to be not like the comic, but it was good anyway, and it got renewed. So we had the season 2 premiere. Was it last week? Sometime last week? Or this?
It was last week because the new episode I think comes on today.
Okay, and it takes place right after like the end credits from the first season finale, and hilarity ensues, and yeah, they teased me as a fan because the alien lost his memory, and then he decides he wants to solve murders. I'm like, you motherfuckers! Like, you take away the whole murder solving aspect away from him, and change it from the comic, and then you tease me where he's like threatening to call Stabler and the other chick,
right? Because he did think he was right. He thought he was Briscoe.
Yeah,
I like the first episode. Have you guys seen the second episode?
I haven't yet.
That came out today, so go watch it after we're done. Like, wait till we're done.
Yeah. It literally hadn't aired yet when we started.
Yeah. I like the first episode because it answers, like, you could tell they watch our show because it answers the question I asked specifically in the first season was, did he really talk to the octopus, or was he just tripping balls so hard? And they revisited that and let us know. They answered that question for me, and I felt so happy. I had that's one of those scenes where I rewinded a little bit just to watch it again and sit there feeling satisfied and hungry.
And the octopus is Nathan Fillion, right?
Yeah.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, octopi are like my favorite animal. They're so smart and versatile, and they put up with all sorts of shit in the ocean, and they're so fucking delicious.
You respect them so much you have to eat them.
Yeah, like you ever get that? I feel bad when I eat them, but fuck it, they're so good.
You ever get that soup that's prepared in a certain way where you you put the lemon on the octopus and it starts like.
Yeah, I haven't had that, but that's
too.
an Asian. I eat it Mexican style. You know what I mean?
Siete mares, just
or the campechana. You know, the seafood
Lawrence
from
is
the
so
back,
confused.
and you got to get it from the back of a truck. Like you can't. If you get at a restaurant, you'll get like 3 little pieces of an octopus. Fuck
See,
that.
I still laugh at that joke, but we're living in an age where there's like gourmet food trucks now. It's like,
Yeah,
It's true.
no, but I'm talking about like a pickup truck with coolers. Like I'm not talking about no food truck.
Yeah, not a food truck, a truck.
There's a dude we used to call at the barbershop, and he'd swing by. Like one time, I swear, I think he was in bed with his wife because she answered, and then she's like, "No, you can't go right now." And I'm like, "All right, well, just let him know when we're here, we're hungry, whenever he's ready." And all right, and then she hung up, but she was annoyed when she like picked up. And then he called me right back. He goes, "I'm coming over right now. I'm just putting on my pants." And I'm like, "Yeah, man." And she got mad because we asked her for extra tostadas, and she's like, "Fuck that." You know, she's like, "You're getting 4."
She's like, I got you extra tostadas right here.
Yeah, you're getting 4, and that's it. And he goes, "Well, he usually gives me 6." And she's like, "Yeah, but I'm giving you 4." I'm like, "All right."
Dang.
Yeah. So she
is.
wasn't very fond of us, but he was, and that was out in Long Beach. But now he lives right here in Southgate, which is like 10. He lives 10 minutes from my house. So I just go over to his house and knock on his door sometimes and get some.
Did you tell her you thought the fish smell was because he ate his own product, but now you know better?
No, I didn't tell her that.
Oh God.
I love it when Lawrence like gets it because you can see it in his eyes.
Oh, Jesus, man. Okay. I guess I should just be happy you were subtle. Subtle. So, Jay, how'd you feel about Resident Alien?
Oh, it wasn't in the thumbnail, so I forgot.
It's in the thumbnail.
You didn't. You don't see that guy saying the F?
Nope.
Nope.
Not in the thumbnail. It's not in the thumbnail I saw.
Jay,
like
every thumbnail you saw literally had the Resident Alien head saying with the F. Like,
and
look at
even before the thumbnail, there's text saying that we're talking. Oh,
I asked him because nobody else replied. I asked him, "Hey, can we talk a little bit about Resident Alien 2?" He's not listening.
Jay went to go check the thumbnail. He's like, hold on.
Mo wasn't in the thumbnail either. That's why he's not even going to listen.
Oh no, I didn't see it.
But you didn't even see the text when I asked if we could talk about
No, I saw that.
Yeah.
But when I looked at the thumbnail, I just saw Princess and Vox Machina.
Yeah.
So I normally look at the thumbnail to remember what we're doing.
Look at the production text. That's what that's for. The thumbnails for the consumer. The thumbnails for the consumer, not the creator.
Jay needs to join our Patreon so he can be part of the production.
Like you don't even realize how good a deal you get to get that for free.
Yeah, but I will say, when I read the description, it kind of bummed me out because normally amnesia things lead to a lot of retreading. And so I was a little bummed.
Oh,
no.
We should have watched it.
You thought it was going to be like a clip episode?
Not a clip episode, but just re-hearing a lot of info I already know. And there was this fantasy anime that I wanted to watch, so I ended up watching that, and it's not that great.
Well, look. It's good to know that all went downhill for you, Jay.
Look,
I wouldn't say downhill.
Did you bring it up when we were talking about fantasy animation 20 minutes ago at all? Like,
no, I was thinking about it.
Yeah,
I was thinking about it, but I didn't bring it up because the title is long, and I thought I was going to trip over it. but the title is something like, "What if someone from the last Dungeon Boonies went to a starter town?"
Now, that's a
Like,
good description, but what's the title?
right, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
So he
Is that
he
like
remember
English translation of the title?
in his memory he could remember that he needs
That's
to
what they
watch
titled
that,
it. Like,
but he doesn't
that's what
remember
they
the
titled
name.
it.
All right.
Well, I mean, yeah. Like, I'll be honest. Even when I was watching Resident Alien, I still like stopped and then just watched the backlog. Like,
Yeah, look, that's all fine and dandy. We were
Hold
talking
on.
about the whole season.
Hold on.
We're talking about
I just looked it up. Holy crap, he's not kidding. He gave us like half the title.
That was only half the title?
2/3. The full title. Suppose a kid from the last Dungeon Boonies moved to a starter town.
Suppose.
Okay.
right.
Yeah.
And it's funny because he's like the weakest kid in his village, but because he's like at the last dungeon, like he's actually super stronger than everyone else, and he doesn't realize it because it's his first time out of his town, and so he's like there, and he thinks he's a weakling because he's the weakest person from his village, but he's actually like the strongest person. Like it's interesting. Like
Is it
it's not
comedic?
great. Say again.
Is
Well,
it
don't
is
ask
it
Hey,
comedic?
we're not trying to do a review of it either. We gotta
Yeah,
go
we're
back
not
to the
reviewing
movie.
Yeah, it's comedic.
Yeah.
I asked one question. You know how many? Like you literally just had an entire conversation about
Right.
the sex life of your friggin'. I don't even know what food it was. Your friggin'
That took all and it
seafood
relates
pasta. Your seafood pasta, whatever. Like I asked one question. You did 10 minutes on that. You did 10 minutes on it.
Hey, we used up the time.
We have no time for your relevant questions.
Also,
It's like
seafood relates to the topic we were talking about, whereas this anime doesn't.
Well,
whatever.
it relates to Vox Machina.
We're done with that though. That's enough. We're talking old stuff now.
Oz, you watched the second episode of Resident Alien already?
No, I didn't. No. You literally said it didn't start when we start the show. Did you see me stop the show and go like this?
We're in two different time zones.
You technically could have watched
probably
it.
Did. You probably could have watched it.
You don't
we
know that.
could not.
I don't know how time works.
Well, since Joe didn't watch it, we have a few minutes so I can review the new Pokemon game, right?
No, we gotta get straight into Princess.
Let's just do that. Yes, let's play the movie music. Play movie music.
Well, it's this movie. Like
I want to hear about the new Pokemon.
Yeah, just run into it. We don't.
Okay. Oh, do we not have a
comic
theater?
book comic book theater?
Oh, got you. Oh wow, Princess doesn't get the comic book theater theme. That's fair. You're right. It's not a comic book movie, or at least not that I know of. Right? I don't. Jay, why don't you tell us?
Tell us what? If it's a comic book movie?
No, well, about Princess.
Oh, tell you about Princess. Okay, so Princess is about a missionary who returns home when his sister dies, and he wants to take care of her kid, but his sister was a porn star, and the daughter grew up like surrounded by porn people, and she was mistreated, and it sets the guy off, and so he threatens the company, basically tells them that he wants them to stop selling all of her tapes, or else he was going to help them stop selling all of her tapes. And then they didn't stop, so he had to go help out.
There it is. Yeah. Wait. So Jay, you're the one that suggested we watch this, right?
Yes, because
Where?
sex and violence reminded me of it. So,
Right.
and Mo was like, "We should talk about that," and I was like, "Yeah, I'll watch it again."
So when did you actually see this when it came out? Because this is an older movie, right? It came out in what is it, 2006? Something like that. I don't know, but did you see it when it came out, or did you just
I
come
don't think
across it? How
so.
did you come? Okay, how'd you come across it?
I think it was on a listicle of like revenge movies.
Okay,
I think
got
that's
it.
how I came across it.
No,
I
I
don't
can
really
I can totally see
remember.
that. Okay, okay. Um, Oz, you got the chance to check this out?
Yeah, I watched it.
Okay.
Not at work, right?
Funny you mentioned that. I almost did, but I remember you mentioned that you thought about it when reading Sex and Violence, and I figure I shouldn't take that chance. And the first 5 minutes told me I was correct. Do not do not put that on at work. I watched most of it. Sped through some of it. It dragged on so much. I hated the animation. Like the backgrounds were beautifully done, and then the main characters in the front, and like looks like he's written like he's just weird. I hate the mixed media thing. That bugged me so like especially during the car accident, because the car accident is actually like very well animated and pretty, and then it's like interspliced with this grainy ass. It just I couldn't watch it. And then like I was forced to watch it because I had to read the subtitles because I don't speak whatever non-American they were speaking.
Danish. They speak Danish.
They were speaking,
non-American.
Okay.
He saw Danish. He's like, I'm finished.
I guess. I don't know what they call it. Like baked goods was their language. I like Danishes. Yeah. So I was I'm forced to watch it, even though I'm hating watching it. And I remember Jay saying that the story was interesting. So I kind of wish I had an English version that I could just listen to, and I don't have to subject my eyes to that kind of pain and torture of this poorly done sort. Like there was one talented guy in the group that did the backgrounds, and everybody else just kind of winged it. And they try to save money by doing this grainy ass VHS wannabe style of video recording that for something that came out in 2016, like that's the people watching it in 2016 don't know that VHS
2006
same thing. Millennials don't know. Well, if it's not in the 90s, then millennials don't know. I guarantee it. So, it watching it was a struggle for me, and it moves so slow.
He feels
like,
like
the dude is like taking a step every 5 seconds. It's just like I had to check to see if I had it at half speed at one point.
Wait, real quick though, just as a quick aside, Oz just mentioned like millennials or whatever, and it tripped me out when in Resident Alien, Home Chick had to look up who Briscoe was. I was like, oh damn! I'm like, what in the hell? You don't know Briscoe? I was like, damn, that's messed up, yo. I was like, it tripped me out. Okay, so Oz, it was.
I let that one slide, Larry.
It was a chore for you.
Yeah.
Was it a chore, or were you abused like the chick in the film?
It felt like it, but I don't want to minimize, actual survivors of that kind of.
She didn't survive.
That was going on, and I don't know. I don't know what I watched. Then there's an old lady that looks like ET for some reason.
does look like ET.
A little Asian girl with a Pac-Man face. I don't know what I watched. It's just
Oh, damn. Okay, Moses, what did you think of Princess?
It was definitely stylized. It was, it wasn't incredibly well done, but for Danish things, it's actually less disturbing than what I thought going into. Once Jay said it was a Danish film, I'm like, oh fuck! Like you got to watch like Danish, like you watch Forrest Gump, the Danish version, and it's like you're watching Saw. Like that's then I don't know. I think people in Denmark are too happy and they watch things that bum them out. Like because that's anything by Lars von Trier is gonna bum you the fuck out. Like, oddly enough, in America, all his stuff gets turned into TV shows and it's riveting. But yeah, the Danish stuff is so. This was actually very tame by those standards, and
Okay.
it tried to go more in the artsy in a lot of things, and that I think that's where it failed. But I did like the characters and this story. I mean, I don't remember if Jay said sex and violence, that segment, sex and violence reminded him of this in the way that like this was done better or something. But I kept thinking about that. Like, no, I don't know. I think this isn't done. This could have been done a little better. Like if it was a 45-minute film of just killing and having this little girl kill people too, with a little bit of story in between, 10 minutes of dialogue throughout the whole thing, just this killing rampage would have been a little better for me.
That's fair. That's fair.
a quick piggyback off of what Mo said, because it better solidified a thought that I had on this show. They say there's a fine line. I would say there's two fine lines here, because you have crap, artsy, and on the other side, pretentious. Somehow this movie managed to remove artsy, which is what they were going for, put that over there, put those two together, and then do this on that line. Like just back and forth between crap and pretentious.
It's like they had a three-way, like the girl in the film, between crappy and pretentious.
There was like 4 dudes in that. Like
there was some scenes that were like,
as they say.
There were some things that were kind of disturbing, but it wasn't for the violence or the sex in it. It was just the I guess in back to what you were talking about, Legends of Vox Machina, in the characterizations, like showing you what this little girl went through with nothing other than how she reacts to everyday life situations that kids normally do. That was really disturbing for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Joe laughing at it earlier, but yeah, it's just like where she's trying to play house with the kids, and she's from this abusive environment, and she goes, "Oh, I could be the whore," like, and it's like it just she just said it like that, like fucked up,
Yeah.
But I like the scene when they go and raid his apartment. He's not even there. That's some cool, like, Man on Fire, Daredevil shit.
Yeah. It's interesting because now you all know me. I messed around and was like, okay, we're doing Princess, and I'm like, I don't even remember what Princess is about. I didn't remember the conversation we had about sex and violence. I didn't
remember when you sent us the trailer for it.
You're so dumb. I did not send y'all no trailer for Princess. Listen, and I'm sitting here like I don't remember what it is at all. Like I literally had to look at the thumbnail and it was like, okay, now I'll go and look this up and see if I can like figure out where I can watch it and all that kind of stuff. And so I messed around and put this joint on, like literally going in blind. And I agree 100% with the experience that Oz had initially, because I was like, man, this is kind of slow. And it's not like nothing's happening, mind you, because, the opening scene, like Oz mentioned, is, but at the same time that you don't have any context for it. So I'm just like, what are we watching? And then from there it kind of has like, slowly goes into the story. And the animation isn't great. I do wish it will also, I was like, man, I wish this was like at least like dubbed or something, because like it was personally hard for me to read the subtitles. Just and part of it was a quality thing, and part of it of course is just my eyes. But it was hard to do. And so I was like sitting here like, oh man, I wish it was like this. I didn't have as much of an issue with the mixed media aspect of it, but at the same time, it's like if the animation was better, I feel like the mixed media would fit in a little bit better. Or even if they maybe had done it a little different. Like, I mean, it's definitely not up to, it's not done great. But what I can say is I feel like once the story kind of kicks in and you kind of realize what is happening with this little girl and what her situation is, and you have like her uncle and him trying to like set things right and like show her how life can be better. It's like that story for me was really compelling. And it like definitely enough for me to be like, okay, I'm not worried about the animation as much, even though it's still not great. But it's like one of these things where like I do feel like it was going for an artsy kind of thing that it accomplishes in some ways and in other ways not as much. Like honestly, I feel like all of it, a lot of what they do is based on or a lot of what fails about it in my mind is based on the level of animation. Like I feel like almost everything that they did in this movie, if it was done in live action and the effects were of a particular caliber, I feel like people would be like, man, like this is on some other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like be praised for some of the choices that it makes. And and even how like it ends up, like how it ends and whatnot. I was like, wow, like, like this was interesting because it's like I wasn't certain where it was gonna go. And the movie does that, at least for me, yeah, for me, like from scene to scene, I was like, I don't know what's about to happen next.
It could end. It could end in any one of those scenes.
Yeah, exactly. Right, where it's just like, dude, like, it's like they're going down like, I mean, I don't even want to call it a rabbit hole because it's more like almost like an anthill, because it like cuts down in this different direction. You're just like, wait, what's happening now? Wait, what? So I'm like, okay, well, let's go for this ride and see where this takes us. And so, it's a wild movie, and it's definitely something where, I don't know that I could recommend it to just anybody, but there's definitely, I feel like a group of people that I know that would watch this and be like, man, like that's intense. Like I think you hit the nail on the head, Mo, when you're talking about like the emotional toll that comes from realizing just how abused this little girl is. Like I know the bath scene was like crushing. I was like, dude,
Yeah.
what the hell is happening? Like that is messed up. And I was just like, man, like that sucks because, when you have, and it's just like, it's a little girl and she's just so conditioned.
Yeah. And how can you deprogram
for all of these little things? Yeah, man, it's messed up, man. So I was just like, dude,
like
this
her
is
going to
wow.
like the 7-Eleven and like seeing the porno magazines, like, oh, that's my mom. She wants to buy it, and she's like, I want to learn about my mom.
Right. It's messed up, man. It is messed up. And this guy just trying to deal with that and trying to figure, like make his way through things the best way he can. And it's like, it's wild because it's definitely a revenge flick.
Yeah.
But it has a lot of heart to it too.
And it's that's the thing about it, for all the disqualifiers, like the quality, even the quality in which it was presented to us, because we didn't watch it like on Blu-ray or anything. The captions, the different language, and all these things working against, and it still managed to get a good, at least in me, a good emotional reaction with a lot of these scenes, like the crowbar scene. You know, but even when he broke that kid's arm, like,
That's
so crazy.
That was so funny.
Yeah. See.
It's funny because it's a little kid. Like, he could have easily have not broken his arm and like got his point across.
Yeah, but the thing is, the subtle like underlying message there is that this kid's gonna grow up to be like one of these motherfuckers because he's already showing that tendency, you know.
And
I
love it.
If anybody wants to watch this, or at least I did, watched it free on YouTube.
Yeah, we will put the link in the description.
Will we though?
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it tomorrow.
Thanks, Mo.
So,
what were you gonna say, Jay?
I will say, I enjoyed this movie. It's a little slower than I remember. Like, it took a little while for things to get started. I 100% forgot about the gravesite and the 4 penises. Like that, yeah, I completely forgot about that. And I'd say one thing that I caught this time that I didn't, but this dude is actually a little unhinged. Like, he's a violent motherfucker. Like, yeah. Like, for a church guy, too, it's like, man, he's just got some anger issues.
And that's why I didn't understand, too, because I was like when you see him before, he's like in a, like he has on a friggin' a collar, like a priest collar, like,
right.
But he's not actually a priest, though, right?
I think so. Like, he became a priest and went to go teach.
A missionary, yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Oddly enough, his sister was a missionary, too.
We get it.
But that opening scene, but
even also, even when I first saw it, I did not like the mixed media aspect. Still don't like it. Like I don't dislike it as much as I did back then, because back then it just felt like a cop out. Even though I saw what they were doing, it's like all the flashback sister scenes are like the live action, but it didn't. It felt like a cop out. Like you can't just like. What it felt like is that there were enough live action bits so that they could make a trailer that was live action and kind of trick people into seeing a cartoon. Like, that's kind of what it felt like they were probably doing. And yeah, I don't know. I didn't like it then. I don't really like it now. The animation is not great, but I didn't actually have any issues with it. Like, I think because I watched so much animated shit, like, I've seen so much worse that it has to be pretty bad or like pretty stylized in order for me to be like, oh no, this is, yeah, like. And so, yeah, I didn't have a problem with it. And yeah, I like the story. I like the characters. Like, the girl, for a kid character, she's not annoying at all. Like, you get exactly where she's coming from and why she is the way she is. Like, she's spoiled and she's 5, and you know, it's like I feel so bad for her. Like,
yeah,
like you said, the best scene is heart-wrenching. Like, she keeps protesting, she doesn't want to do it, and then she like goes for the pants, and August is like, what the fuck are you doing? Like,
right.
It's like, man. But I will say, August is. I one thing I didn't get then, and I don't get now is, and I guess we just do spoilers because it's like a 14-year-old movie.
Mm-hmm.
At the end, he gets a bomb and he puts it in the girl's stuffed toy, and I never got that. Like, it's like her favorite toy in the world. Like, you could have done anything. You could have went to like Big Five and got a football and just left it in that, but you put it in the toy, something she's obviously going to be like gravitate towards.
The football be easy to throw to the house too.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So it's like
the fence.
Yeah, like it would have been much smarter to not do that, and there's no real reason why he should do that. I mean, except to get your ending. Love that ending though. I mean, it's one of those it's an ending I kind of hate, but that's the good part of it. Like they didn't all have to die, and it makes you sad, but it makes you feel. So you're like, man. And then there's a little live action thing at the end, and you're like, I don't need this. Like,
I liked it.
I mean, it's sweet, but yeah.
Joe's like, it's too happy.
I mean, a little bit. I mean, at least they're dead, so it's like you're not too happy, but. And again, if it were animated, it'd be like a lot easier for me at least.
Yeah.
And I think too, one of the things, and this is kind of the thing with like a lot of these revenge things, it's like this movie could have been solved so easily if they had just let him talk to Charlie. Like everything would have like worked out. And one thing I got on this viewing that I didn't remember or didn't get last time was that he's kind of dumb too. Like all he had to do was ask the girl, where does Charlie live? And she could have just took him. Like there was no need for him to like burn everyone. And it's like, yeah, but I guess that's what makes it entertaining. Like, and I'm glad they killed that one dude. Like, he was scum.
So what do you think happened to Charlie?
I mean, they show you he was visiting the grave. He took down the obscene tombstone and buried them together.
When did he actually killed Charlie?
No, Charlie made it. The guy at the end, the cemetery, that's Charlie.
Gotcha.
And he put the three graves together. They took down the penises. Which, why would you do that? Why would a cemetery let you do that? Like,
we'll take them down.
It's not like a private cemetery. Like, people are bringing their kids there. They're like,
I mean, they put obelisks. That's the same shit.
No, obelisk and a penis are different.
I don't
and
know.
It's for 4 penises. Like, it's not even one. They're like, it's like 4 of them. Oh, and that inscription, that's just fucking tacky as shit.
It really was. Yeah. Ah, man. So, Oz, what would you rate Princess?
2. I really want to give it like 1 or even half, but I didn't. Like, in all good conscience, I didn't finish it, so maybe it gets better. At the same time,
like, how far did you get?
The car accident, and then that's where I just started skipping forward, see if it got interesting, and it didn't. Not really.
So when he was murdering all those people, you're like, meh.
Like at that point, I I'm done. Start murdering people in the like murder the dudes that were like quadruple teaming the his sister in the opening. Like just take those dudes out and okay, now you got me and you can slow it down and I'll give you another half hour before any other murder happens and be fully in. But it moves so slow that I was struggling the whole time, and it doesn't help that, like I said before, I have to watch it because I have to read the subtitles because I don't speak cheesy bread or whatever the language is.
Cheesy bread.
I forget what a Danish looks like. That's the dessert, and it's got like the little cream cheese in the middle, right?
That's a cheese
I mean,
Danish, yeah.
if you have a cheese Danish, yes.
Yeah.
But there's multiple types of Danishes.
So this language doesn't even give me the cheese? See,
not unless you want it.
Oh my god. Yeah, so look, I tried. There are some aspects that, like I said, the backgrounds are beautiful in a lot of these scenes. The car accident scene is great, and then just that mixed media thing. I don't know. Maybe it's one of those things like you said, you didn't really like it the first time, but you felt different the second time. I just don't feel any need to watch it again. Maybe if I can find the English version, it's something I can listen to. I can get to the point in the story where like murder is just rampant, and it'll make me want to go back and watch those scenes. But right now, I'm gonna stick with 2.
You know, I wasn't hungry before, but now I kind of am.
I just keep thinking of August's sister when I see that.
Oh my god.
Well, it depends on the time of the month.
Jesus. Mo, what would you rate Princess?
Just for all the puns, 5. No, it's a 3.5.
There's a lot of fun.
3.5, man. I did enjoy it, and I wish the animation was better, but it's part of the art they chose to express this message in, and I would have liked more action, but again, that's what they chose to do, and yeah, 3.5.
Yeah. Jay, what would you rate Princess?
I would give it a 4. Like that. I honestly just kind of like there's a scene and a setup where the guy is like, well, you know, if you want to get to Charlie, you're gonna have to do this and then this and then this, and so he's like, okay, yeah, I can do that, and he just does it. Like,
that was so cool.
It's like super stylish too to me. Like the way he's kind of like, well, you know, if you don't want to, you know, if you don't want to get rid of the materials, I can help you. It's like, I don't know.
The montage of just shit blowing up.
Yeah, like it's kind of slick in the storytelling area in ways that I like.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think I'd have to agree with you. I you know, my rating, I don't know. I think I give it more like 3.75 because I don't know if I can quite go to a 4 just because, yeah, I feel like from a production standpoint, it's like, you know, it has a little too many flaws for me to give it a 4, but the story's there. And like I said, I feel like if this joint was live action, it would be like I wouldn't be surprised if somebody decides to remake it in live action at some point.
Even
like,
if it
feels
was
like that kind of movie.
Even if it was a VHS, like that VHS style live action, it would work. But,
oh yeah, absolutely. I feel like it feels like a festival kind of film, like or like what a festival type of film if
like
it was live action. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, so you know, but it's, you know, and don't get me wrong, it's like obviously like there's some parts of it that might come across like who, I'll say this, I'm not even sure I could watch it if it was live action. Maybe I could. I don't know. There might be some parts of it that I'm like I don't know, it'll make me feel, you know, and you know, there might be some parts of it that people might really like, if you break a little kid's arm in live action, there are some people that would just by that out by itself, they would be like, whoa, like, I don't like this,
People watched it.
Do they break little kids'
true.
arms?
Yeah.
Little
So
kid.
they ate him.
Yeah, but in the remake, they broke his arm too. He's like crawling with no arm.
Doesn't he wave at
Oh, I
another
don't
kid with
remember.
the kid's arm?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Like severed with blood all over his. Yeah.
I need to rewatch it.
Like that scene with him going into the sewer, the remake compared to the other one was like 10 times a little more disturbing, because like he rips off the kid's arm and the kid's trying to crawl away with just one arm, and then he gets pulled back.
Jeez.
I would say Tim Curry was much funnier than the new guy.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Okay, cool. So, we got a few minutes. Anybody got any news they want to talk about or anything like that? You want to play some news music?
Oh, sure.
Comic book news.
We should have a
comic book
like current. Well, not like that, but like.
So, what should we talk about first?
The who's it? That union that started at Image Comics is suing Image Comics.
So, what are they suing for?
Well, do you remember the story at all, Larry? But basically,
I remember. Oh, good.
They were unionizing because of a harsh work environment or something, and then they actually got approved in their union, and now the labor board is investigating. So I think I have the fucking where's the shit?
I remember the story, and what I remember is the at least to me, what I thought was one of the dumber aspects of their list of demands was they wanted creative control over content.
Yeah,
which made sense if the union was made up of the creators, but it wasn't. It was like their office workers,
right? And they want more control over the diverse aspects of it and things like that. So
like representation type stuff, right?
So but we'll see where it goes. It's still an open investigation and the story is developing. So but foster a more competitive industry as a whole through salary, workload, transparency for all existing proposed job titles. They want to improve staff morale through annual staff and management reviews to assess performance and workload. The creation of a more transparent company culture through monthly all-hands meetings, so all staff can better understand both the current and future priorities of responsibility. So that makes it seem like there's nothing like corporate about working at Image, and those are our fair desires, and it comes from the top down. Any shitty job you've ever worked has all three of those for its complaints covered. In fact, it's going to be Image is going to turn into a shittier place to work because of that, probably.
That's hilarious.
They'll start paying you minimum wage because they got to pay for all this shit. I mean, the all hands meetings. So for transparent company culture, that's a $250,000 a year expense on a big company, with whether it's because you got to do 12 of them a month, 12 of them a year. And those, whether it's a safety thing, you hire consultants for that. And you got to get them on a contract to do your meetings for however often, whether it's sensitivity training or sexual harassment or active shooter training,
active shooter training.
I've been to a couple of those training seminars in my life at a job, But you need that. That's part of your. The thing is, when it gets down to this, the company is liable for whatever they break in those meetings. So I doing those meetings, they cover their ass. You can't sue them if you get sexually harassed because everybody was trained to not what you do if you've been sexually harassed and to not sexual harass. So it's on you at that point, and the middle management. How the middleman they can fire everybody except the brass at the top, you know, and you can sue everybody except the company after that, you know. So we'll see how that goes.
Indeed, we will.
No more naked ping pong on Image Comics.
Cool. Anybody got anything else?
Vox Machina
Superman.
You're hilarious.
Superman and Lois is out, and it's still good.
I'm behind.
Yeah.
I can't believe how good it still is.
How many episodes was the first season?
I have to look it
I
up.
don't know.
I'm gonna say like between 8 and 10.
Okay, that's a good.
Yeah.
That's so they're on what, the second season now?
Yeah,
or third. Okay.
Second.
Okay.
You know, I meant to bring it up when it was still going on, but you know, X-Men is doing a second annual Hellfire Gala, and they're doing like the X-Men vote again, and so they had a list of characters that the fans could vote on in regards to having a member on the next X-Men roster. They haven't told us who the new member is going to be yet, but not long before voting closed, the character that was pretty much like in the lead was actually Firestar.
Firestar.
Yeah, exactly. Which, you know, Firestar is technically a mutant, but is not. Yeah, she's a mutant.
Where's Dazzler place?
I don't think Dazzler was in that roster.
Then it's void. Doesn't count.
You know, while you're joking though, let me look real quick because it was a good.
While you look it up, Superman and Lois season 1 was 15 episodes.
Oh, the first season.
Yeah, that's what it meant when it says season 1.
Oh, wait, what? No. So, yeah. So the second roster of mutants yet, Dazzler was not a part of it.
Now, when you say roster, is it for specifically for the gala or for like an actual team?
No, it's for the X-Men. Like,
Armor was on here again.
Who?
Armor, wasn't she in the last round?
No, Armor wasn't.
Are you sure?
I don't think any. I'm pretty sure. We can look it up real quick, but I don't think she was in.
Wait, is this 2021 or 2022?
The one with Armor and Firestar is 2022. 2021, I don't think she was a part of, because they're actually doing a comic book.
Who the hell are like?
What?
How did these people win the vote? Were like the actual good X-Men not included in the vote?
No, understand. No,
the good X-Men are always X-Men.
That's what this whole thing is about. Us.
Okay, like there's like 3 that I would be okay with.
Only 3 of these people you'll be okay with being on the X-Men?
Did you vote?
Not being on the X-Men, just like I'm gonna say name recognition.
Oh, well, yeah, but no, the idea is fans vote for one of these people to join the X-Men roster. The rest of the roster is determined by the writer of X-Men.
Oh, okay. So Firestar won this vote on.
Well, we don't know that for fact, but she was in the lead before polling closed. And so now, personally, like I'm a big Monet fan, so Penance is where my vote went.
I mean, mine would go to Bling.
Would go to Bling.
Yeah.
Okay, no, Bling is cool.
Anybody with an exclamation point in their name automatically gets credit. It's like Kesha with the $sign, you know, like girl can't sing, but I'll support her just because of that.
Oh man, that's funny. I'm trying to see if I can find the.
I have the roster that you can vote on.
Yeah, she wasn't on it.
The 2021. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
She wasn't on it.
Okay. Yeah, and you know, I mean, Armor's been on an X-Men team before. You know, she was on. Mm-hmm.
She should be like, I don't know. I feel like they don't use her enough.
No, I agree. She's a great character, and she would be awesome on the X-Men team, especially now. You know, but they're making a comic with the characters from the 2021 roster that didn't make it onto the team all together, which would interest you, I would think, Jay, because Marrow was on that last roster, and so
there's
so
like three people on that from last time that I like really liked.
Oh, who are the other two?
I don't remember. I'd have to look up the list.
No, that's fair. No problem. Yeah, but it's good stuff.
So how does this relate to the gala? Is the like whoever wins the vote shows up in the gala?
No, so basically what happened is that like in the, you know, the initial gala was basically like the coming out party for, well, it's not even a coming out party, because what it is at least from a story perspective, is the mutants are all getting together. They invite dignitaries and celebrities and whatnot. And during the gala, they do like a telepathic voting. And that's how they decide who the roster of X-Men are going to be for, you know, at least at that time, we were like, well, this is going to be the X-Men for Krakoa. And so they're going to do a second annual gala. And, you know, we're all thinking the same thing will happen again, where all the mutants will come together, they'll vote telepathically, and then we'll see who the roster of X-Men are going to be for that year moving forward.
Okay, so everybody just wants to see Firestar in a fancy outfit.
I don't know. I'm not exactly sure what happened, because I'm feeling like, you know, if you're an X-Men fan, Firestar isn't somebody that you're particularly like, oh man, we need Firestar on the team. I don't think.
Spider-Man can have the wig, or is she
Spider-Man and his amazing friends has been lighting up the boards at Disney Plus.
No, and that's what, like, I do believe that it is like an outside contingent that was kind of like, oh, let's get Firestar on the X-Men. You know, people that like Firestar, which, I mean, Firestar has a lot of fans, but I don't know that there's a big cross section between X-Men fans and Firestar fans. So, yeah, man, it's gonna be interesting to see if she ends up on the team, because, like, I don't even know that Firestar is on Krakoa. I've been reading all the X-Men books. I don't remember ever seeing her there. So I'm like, is she gonna go to the gala? Like, because that's the thing too, where like the way the telepathic voting works is like, it's literally you listening to why people say they want to be on the X-Men, and then you deciding, I want to pick this person, that person, that person, that person. So I'm like, is Firestar going to be like, I should be on the X-Men? Like, that seems weird to me. Like, why would Firestar do that all of a sudden? So I don't know. There might be some story leading up to the gala if that happens, or maybe it'll come after. Who knows? Because, you know, maybe they might be like, okay, yes, we're going to put her on the team, and then you find out what that journey was like. So, yep.
Yeah.
Anybody got anything else?
No.
All right, it's time to get out of here. All right, Jay, why don't you give me some final thoughts, buddy?
I can't find the old list, so I don't remember the other people that I was interest in.
Okay. All right. That's fair. Oscore, final thoughts.
Oh, right. I see it now.
Just how it started, just how it ended.
So Boom Boom was in that.
Oh yeah.
Well, I really like her. And yeah.
All right. Oz. Uh-oh. You about to sneeze or you about to say something, Jay?
No, the list was not a great list.
Oz, final thoughts.
I haven't seen past the first episode of the Book of Boba Fett, but now that I know that Darth Maul shows up in episode 6, I can't wait to get there.
Let me tell you. Moses Magnum, final thoughts.
I don't have any final thoughts, but I'll just leave you with this clip from the latest episode I've seen of The Peacemaker.
Idiot still in. Okay, Peacemaker, shut up. Dude, I didn't mean to put your father in prison. Then why'd you put him there, you fat fuck? Because I couldn't think of anybody else. What about Ariana Grande or Drake? What? Brad Pitt or Payne Stewart or Doug the Pug? Khloe Kardashian, the Red Tiger from Voltron, Fran Tarkenton, Joe Montana, Joe Montana, Eddie Murphy, Michael Jordan, Michael B. Jordan, BTS. Eugene
After the
Levy,
credit, it just goes a lot
John
longer.
Jones. Shut the fuck up and listen, man. I'm giving you a list of people you could have done. Danny DeVito, Will Ferrell, Howard Stern, Baba Booey, Robin Ophelia, Quivers, Alice Cooper, Ozzy Osbourne, Sharon Osbourne, Bill Cosby. He just got out. He's got time on his hands. Amy Winehouse. Dude, Amy Winehouse is fucking dead. Optimus Prime, Shipwreck, Cobra Commander, the fucking cunts from Riverdale. All right, next time I fucking have to frame somebody, it'll be one of all those fucking thousands of people you just mentioned. Yeah, tell that to my dad. Peacemaker, shut the fuck.
It's good stuff, man. But this fool said the Red Lion from Voltron. It's like, what? Why the Red Lion?
That's a tiger.
And then he just went back to regular people, which makes it even better. It's like, wait, what?
Like, I love that. The fucking he's rattling on the list, and then he throws in a Baba Booey bomb in there, and the Howard Stern and Robin Ophelia Quivers. He got the middle name. Like, that's hardcore fandom right there.
Speaking of Howard Stern, we did forget to bring up. I actually hit up Jimmy Palmiotti on Twitter, and
I
asked him whether he was responsible for censoring Sex and Violence, the Sex and Violence cover on Comixology, or if Comixology did it, and he said that was on Comixology, and then he plugged his website, and so you could buy Uncensored here. But I already own it, so, and it's not available as a print.
Fair.
But he listens to Howard Stern too. That's why that reminded me.
Yeah, he does. He can't make a noir story about two chicks going down on each other and then one leaving for another without listening to Howard Stern.
There it is. All right. For the entire Fantastic Forum, thank you all so much for hanging out with us. We do appreciate you. We'll be back next week. In the meantime, go ahead and like, subscribe, follow us. Let us know what you do like about the show, what you don't like. Let us know what you might want us to talk about. Until then, we will be back next week. All right. See you all later.